Hey everyone, and welcome back to the deep dive. Today we're going deep into something that promises a five-step journey to happiness.
At least according to that Limitless Living article you sent me.
Right, mindfulness meditation, specifically for beginners.
Yeah, and while happiness might sound like a tall order, I think this deep dive will definitely help you figure out
If it's even for you.
if it's the right path for you and give you some solid starting points if it is.
Okay, so the article jumps right into this idea that mindfulness meditation is about focusing on the present moment,
Mm-hmm.
but without judgment.
Right.
Is that even possible with all the mental clutter we all deal with?
Yeah, it's definitely a skill,
Yeah.
you know? It's not something we just do automatically.
Right.
But the article makes a great point.
Okay.
Think of yourself as an observer of your thoughts and feelings, not getting swept up in them.
Hmm.
Like, oh, there's that worry about the deadline again, instead of
Spiraling.
sidling. Yeah.
That makes sense, but I can already feel my inner skeptic going, yeah, right. Easy for you to say. So for someone brand new to this, why even bother?
Yeah.
What's the payoff, especially for a beginner?
That's where it gets interesting. The article highlights several benefits that are particularly relevant for beginners.
Okay.
Less stress,
Mm-hmm.
better focus, stronger emotional resilience,
What?
all things that can make a huge difference in daily life.
Those sound great, but is there any science to back this up, or is it just wishful thinking?
There's actually a lot of research supporting these claims.
Oh, yay.
Some studies show that just 12 minutes of meditation a day, 5 days a week, can lead to real improvements in attention and how well our brains work.
Wow.
It's like one song on your commute.
Okay, now you're speaking my language.
Great.
Small, consistent effort for potential big gains. I like it.
Yeah.
And it's not just feeling sharper mentally.
Right.
Research has also found a link between mindfulness meditation and less anxiety and depression.
Exactly.
So if you're starting out because you're looking for better mental health, there's evidence this could help. All right, you've convinced me on the why, but now the big question.
Yeah.
How do we actually do this mindfulness meditation thing?
Yeah.
Do I need to go find a mountaintop and chant?
Thankfully, it's way simpler than that.
Okay.
The article lays out a very beginner-friendly 5-step approach.
All right.
First, find a quiet space where you won't be disturbed.
Okay.
No mountaintop required.
Okay.
Your living room works just fine.
Whew. That's a relief. Okay, so I found my quiet corner. What's next?
Next, decide how long you want to meditate.
Okay.
Start small, maybe just 5 or 10 minutes,
Mm-hmm.
and gradually increase as you get more comfortable.
Yeah.
No need to overwhelm yourself right out of the gate.
Okay, small steps, big rewards. Got it. What else?
Again, get comfortable. Sit cross-legged in a chair, even lie down if that's best for you.
Okay.
The point is to be able to relax and focus without your body becoming a distraction.
Makes sense. So I'm relaxed in my quiet spot, timer set. What's the actual meditation part?
Here's where the breath comes in. Just focus on the sensation of your breath as you inhale and exhale.
Mm-hmm.
Don't try to change your breathing, just observe it.
Yeah.
This becomes your anchor to the present moment.
Sounds simple enough, but I have a feeling my mind will have other plans.
And that's totally normal.
Okay.
The article stresses that it's perfectly fine for your mind to wander.
Mm-hmm.
When you notice it happening, gently guide your attention back to your breath.
Okay.
No judgment.
Okay.
It's not about silencing your mind completely. It's about noticing when it wanders and bringing it back.
That's a relief. I was already stressing about not being able to clear my mind perfectly.
Right.
So no Zen master expectations on day one.
Not at all. Mindfulness meditation is a practice, not a performance.
Okay.
You're training your attention,
Yeah.
and like any training, it takes time and consistency.
Okay, that makes sense. So we've got the basics. Quiet space, comfortable position, focus on the breath,
Right.
and be kind to ourselves when our minds inevitably wander. Are there any other techniques we can try? Because one size doesn't always fit all right. You're right, finding the right technique is key. The article mentions a few others we could explore.
Yeah.
We've already talked about breath awareness, which seems like a great place to start because it's so simple.
Absolutely. Breath awareness is foundational.
Yeah.
But if you're looking for something a little different, there's also body scan meditation.
Okay.
This one's all about bringing your attention to different parts of your body, noticing any sensations.
Interesting.
It's a great way to get more in tune with your physical self.
We do spend so much time in our heads.
Right.
It's easy to forget about the body. This sounds like a good way to reconnect with ourselves on a physical level.
Exactly. And if you prefer a little more guidance, the article suggests looking into guided meditations.
Okay.
There are tons of resources online,
Yeah.
including some from places like the Stanford Health Library and the UCLA Mindful Awareness Research Center.
Those names definitely add some credibility.
Right.
So guided meditations could be good for beginners who aren't sure how to structure their practice yet.
Exactly. They provide a framework and a soothing voice to guide you through it.
I like it.
And for those who prefer a more active approach,
Mm-hmm.
there's even mindful movement,
Okay.
which could involve things like yoga or Tai Chi.
Ooh, mindful yoga. That's intriguing. Okay, so we've got a whole toolbox of techniques to experiment with.
We do.
But let's be real. How many of us have started a new habit with the best intentions,
Well, yeah.
only to fizzle out after a week or two? How do we make mindfulness meditation stick
Right.
so it doesn't become another abandoned self-help attempt?
That's the million-dollar question, right?
Yep.
The article has some really practical advice for building this habit.
Okay.
First, set reminders.
Okay.
An alarm on your phone, a sticky note on the mirror. Those visual cues can help keep mindfulness meditation top of mind.
Simple but effective. What else can we do?
Create a dedicated space for your practice.
Okay.
Doesn't need to be fancy. Just a corner of your room where you can sit or lie down comfortably without distractions.
Yeah.
Having that designated spot can signal to your brain, okay, mindfulness time.
I like that. It's like a little sanctuary for your mind.
Mm.
What about those days when motivation is low or life gets in the way?
That's where patience and self-compassion come in.
Mm-hmm.
Building any new habit takes time, and there will be days when you struggle to focus or just don't feel like meditating.
Right.
That's okay.
Yeah.
Just acknowledge those feelings
Yeah.
and gently guide yourself back to your practice when you're ready.
So important, that self-compassion piece. It's easy to get discouraged when you don't see results right away. Any other tips to help us stay on track?
The article recommends tracking your progress.
Okay.
You can use a journal or an app to log your sessions, noting how long you meditated,
Mm-hmm.
any insights you gained, or just how you felt afterward.
Yeah.
Seeing your progress, even the small steps, can be incredibly motivating.
Tracking progress is a great idea. Keeps you accountable, and you can see how far you've come. Anything else?
Last but not least, think about finding a community.
Okay.
Connecting with others who are also exploring mindfulness, meditation, could be so helpful.
Yeah.
There are online forums,
Mm-hmm.
local groups,
Mm-hmm.
even meditation apps that have a social component.
Right.
It can make a big difference to have that support and shared journey.
That's a great point. It's so much easier to stick with something when you've got people to share the experience with. Okay, we've covered a lot. The benefits, the steps,
Right.
different techniques,
Yeah.
even how to make it a habit. But are there any challenges we might face as beginners? I'm guessing it's not all rainbows and unicorns. You're right, there are bound to be bumps in the road.
Right.
What kinds of challenges should we be prepared for?
Well, the article talks about a few common ones.
Okay.
And the good news is
Yeah.
it offers some solutions too. One thing many beginners struggle with
Yeah.
is a restless mind.
Right.
We've touched on this already,
Mm-hmm.
but it's worth repeating. A wandering mind is completely normal. The more you practice, the better you'll get at noticing those mental distractions and gently bringing your focus back to your breath,
Yeah.
a mantra or whatever your anchor is.
So it's a skill that develops over time, not something we have to be perfect at right away. What about other challenges?
Physical discomfort is another one. If you're sitting cross-legged for the first time,
Yeah.
you might experience some aches and pains.
Right.
The key is to find a position that's truly comfortable for you.
Okay.
Use cushions, blankets, a chair,
Yeah.
whatever you need. Comfort is key for staying focused.
Good reminder. No need to suffer for the sake of mindfulness. Are there any other challenges we should be aware of?
Maintaining focus can be tough, especially when you're just starting out.
Right.
Our minds are used to constant stimulation, so settling into stillness can feel unfamiliar,
Yeah.
even a little boring at times.
Oh, I can definitely relate to that. Any tips for getting over that hurdle?
The article suggests starting with shorter sessions
Okay.
and gradually increasing the length as you improve. You can also experiment with different techniques.
Right.
Some people find it helpful to focus on a visual object like a candle flame,
Yeah.
while others prefer repeating a mantra silently.
Yeah.
It's all about finding what clicks for you and building that mental stamina bit by bit.
So much good advice. It really feels like we've covered everything, from the why to the how,
We have.
and even the potential roadblocks. Is there anything else in the article that stood out to you?
You know what I found really interesting is that the article mostly focuses on the benefits for individuals,
Right.
which are amazing in themselves.
Hmm.
But it got me thinking,
Okay.
what if we zoomed out a bit?
Ooh. I like where you're going with this. Zoom out how?
What if we considered the impact of mindfulness meditation on a larger scale?
Okay.
Imagine if more and more people cultivated this sense of presence, awareness, and compassion.
Hmm.
Could it ripple outward and contribute to a more peaceful and understanding society?
That's a powerful idea. It makes you wonder if we can train our own minds to be calmer and more focused.
Right.
Could it really translate to more empathy and cooperation between people? Could it make the world a better place?
It's definitely something to think about, whether it's reducing stress in our own lives
Yeah,
or contributing to a more harmonious world.
right.
Mindfulness meditation seems like a path worth exploring.
I completely agree. So, for our listeners who are ready to start this journey, what are the key takeaways we want them to remember?
First and foremost, mindfulness meditation is about learning to be present in the moment without judging yourself.
Mm,
It's a practice, not a performance.
right.
So be kind to yourself. The
Yes.
benefits are huge:
Mm,
less stress, better
yeah.
focus,
Yeah.
more emotional resilience,
Yeah.
deeper self-awareness,
Right.
and the best part, anyone can do it. You
Exactly.
don't need any special equipment or prior experience.
We talked about those 5 simple steps:
Yeah,
finding a quiet space, choosing a duration, getting comfortable focusing on the breath,
right.
and gently guiding your attention back when your mind wanders. And don't forget, there are lots of different techniques to try, so find what resonates with you.
Absolutely.
Whether it's breath awareness, body scan guided meditations,
Mm.
or mindful movement,
Yeah.
there's a style for everyone.
And to make it stick,
Right.
remember those practical tips. Set reminders, create a dedicated space,
Mm-hmm.
track your progress, be patient with yourself,
Yeah.
and consider finding a community for support.
This has been such an insightful deep dive. Thank you so much for sharing your expertise with us.
It's been my pleasure.
And to our listeners, we encourage you to check out the full article from Limitless Living, along with any of the additional resources we mentioned.
Yes, definitely.
It's been a pleasure diving deep with you and with our listeners. Remember, mindfulness is an ongoing journey.
Yeah,
Every step you take, no matter how small,
absolutely.
brings you closer to a more present, peaceful, and fulfilling life.
Beautifully said.
And on that inspiring note, we'll wrap up this episode of the Deep Dive. Until next time, stay curious, keep learning, and keep diving deep into the knowledge that matters most to you. And maybe just take a few mindful breaths along the way.